can hear, the trade winds are blowing a little bit right now. It's a gorgeous day. We've been having a lot of rain this week. It's one of the reasons I haven't been making any videos. So today I just wanted to talk about Elliot Hulse, because a lot of vegans are a little bit upset about some of the stuff he's been saying. But I've always liked him a lot. Like, obviously, I don't believe the exact same as him on every single point, but I do think training-wise, he knows his stuff. Like, I've always trained to be really strong and functional and healthy. I wanted all my gym strength to apply in the real world. And so I've never wanted to be super big or be able to do any super crazy massive lifts if I couldn't transfer that strength anywhere else. And his training is very, very similar. Both of us care a whole lot about stability, about making all these little stabilizers around our joints and spine and everything really, really strong, so that we have a good foundation to build the big showy muscles on top of the prime movers and whatnot. And his whole thing is to be the strongest version of yourself, which is what I've always tried to do. So I'm on the same page with him on a lot of things. And I agree with everyone about what he said about the fad diets. I agree with him what he said about the fad diets, because I've been laughing at them and mocking them for years. Like, I remember back when the Atkins scene was all huge, I would be eating huge things of pasta and going, carbs are awesome, Dr. Atkins is dead, don't listen to him. So, and this whole gluten thing right now is driving me crazy. And I don't know, there's always crazy diets and it's silliness, but anyone who's vegan knows that this isn't another fad diet. This is a lifestyle that you purposely choose due to the impact it makes. So you're not like some sheep just falling into the next fad. You're like, well, global warming sucks, and this meat industry has all these cattle in small enclosed spaces being force-fed corn instead of the natural grass they were designed to eat. And it's producing all kinds of methane and stuff. Back when they ate grass, they would burp a lot. They don't burp very much when they eat the corn. They do a whole lot of stuff out the other side. And it causes more global emissions than cars even. So that's one reason not to support it. Another reason is there's over 7 billion people. The demand for meat is ridiculous. So you can make tons of money raising cattle, and that's exactly what people in South America try to do. And so they tear down a whole bunch of rainforest. Nobody wants the rainforest getting torn down. We've been trying to stop that forever. So that's another good reason to do it. And then of course, if you visited any of these big factory farms, I haven't, I've just seen footage. I haven't even seen that much footage because I never wanted to see that, but I'm aware of its existence, and I did see the video the Hodge twins put up on the pigs, and it's horrible, and no one wants to support that. So that's why people are vegan. I know there's people like Vegan Gains that go off on it being the most sensible diet and whatnot, and I don't know whether I agree with that or not, but I do agree that there's gotta be ways to do a vegan diet that's super healthy and super good, because you look at some of the people out there that are doing it and they're achieving amazing things. I feel like myself personally, I've been struggling with it so far. I haven't worked out all the kinks, and I want you to know that that may be something you face if you make your decision, and that it may be more normal than vegans lead you to believe. And it makes sense because of the previous things I mentioned. We have a strong reason to promote this lifestyle. I don't know how well it would work on a global level, after reading Omnivore's Dilemma, we'd have to find some way to still have a lot of animals to produce all the fertilizers and whatnot, like, unless we could figure out a way to do that through composting trash or something. I don't know. I will honestly sit here and tell you that I'm too ignorant to say one way or the other. Like, there's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of information, a lot of things people can do, and it's overwhelming. It's hard to grasp it all. So I'll just openly admit that there's a lot I don't know. But I do think that there's definitely good reason to do a vegan diet. But I also think that Elliot Hulse is just speaking the truth as he sees it from his perspective. Like, I don't think he made that story up about his friend. I believe he probably really did have a friend who tried to go vegan. Like me, he probably didn't do everything correctly, and he probably got a lot weaker and a lot sicker. And when Elliot told him what he thought, he probably did change, and it probably had him go back where he was before. Because I can tell you from first-hand experience, before I went vegan, all I did was pretty much avoid crap. I wouldn't eat stuff from the meat industry very often because I was ignorant to what it was doing, but I had a tiny glimpse, and so I tried to support it as little as possible, and I knew that grass-fed meats were healthier and stuff. So basically I tried to avoid processed foods, a ton of empty, pointless sugar calories, and just get my macros and take things like green vibrants and stuff and try to get vegetables and fruits as often as I could. And I was strong, I was thriving, I felt like Superman, and it hasn't been the case since I went vegan. So it obviously takes a lot of work. People like Patrick and stuff are obviously doing something really smart and correctly that I haven't plugged into yet. So I need to figure out what on earth I'm doing. So I don't think that he was making stuff up, but I also think he was way off base on the fad diet. I agree with him that the fad diets are crazy and you should just eat what makes sense, but it makes sense to go vegan. We have reasons that make sense. That's why we do it. We're not just falling into the next fad. So I don't agree with him on that point. But I understand where he's coming from with the story he had about his friend. I don't want to do anything that stops people from going vegan. That's the opposite of what I want to do, because like I mentioned, there's so many good reasons for it. I'm just saying I could see why he said what he said. You could see in the side menu that Elliot's channels, the Strength Camp and Elliot Hulse, both of those, I'm subscribed to them, and that's for a reason. That's for people to have a good resource for training information, because he knows his stuff. It seems like the trade winds are picking up, so I think I'm gonna put an end to this video. Just wanted to comment on that whole situation a little bit and put in my 2 cents. Hope you have a wonderful day.